The expressed views of the guests on this podcast are theirs alone and not necessarily endorsed by the host, TWBC, or any associated sponsor. Conversations that are robust yet balanced, on point and to the point. You are listening to the talk of tournament water skiing. This is the TWBC Podcast. And now, here's your host, Tony Lightfoot.
Well, greetings one and all, and welcome to this latest edition of the TWBC Podcast. I'm Tony Lightfoot, and welcoming you to the Swiss Pro Slalom post-event podcast episode. And like 2 weeks ago with the Swiss Pro Tricks, I decided that why mess with a good format? Interview the organizer of the competition, because they have a behind-the-scenes perspective, and they probably have more to say about the event in the end, rather than trying to chase down skiers as they're leaving the site. So with that in mind, let's reintroduce Mr. Clint Stadlbaur, the Tournament Director. How are you doing, sir?
Great, Tony. Thank you. A little tired from the day, but doing great.
Absolutely, absolument. Okay, that's my one and only French for this portion of the podcast. So, Swiss Pro Slalom 10th edition. You introduced some neat little things to help us celebrate the 10th anniversary of this event. And for those that weren't at the event, they were treated to some of it with the pictures of the 10 winners, the 10 occasions in which the Swiss Pro Slalom took place, and the winners of each one. That was a really nice touch, I believe.
Yeah, we had that in mind. So when you walked up to the site, you could see like the winners every year. We had many times Nathan and Regina, we had Will, Freddie. So as you walked, you could kind of remember all these years and who won it. I think that was a nice touch for today.
All right, then. So anything else you want to comment on behind the scenes a little bit? Because, I mean, what you saw on the webcast is certainly one of the best webcasts that we've been involved with here at the Swiss Pro Slalom, and the TWBC being involved once again, right from the start, all but the very first event, which was in 2015. But any observations you would make?
No, we just tried to make sure this one was a good one. I thought it was. It was one of our best one. We did a few extra things with our 10th anniversary logo. We made sure everything was good. We had a great running boat. The skiers, we're very fortunate. From year one, we had always had the best skiers in the world. It was the same this year. So the skiing level is just going higher and higher. I think we have a proven format. Anyway, we like it, the 2 rounds and finals, giving all the skiers a good chance to perform, and so this year was just a bit more emotional, I would say, to pull through the 10 years. Have many of the skiers that were here from the beginning still ski today.
And obviously a little heavy-hearted, of course, because of the passing of Bill Wenner, who is a real world popular official here in the southern region, and he was actually your first ever chief judge for the very first one in 2015.
Yes, certainly. Bill Wenner was actually our chief judge for the 2015 and the 2016 edition. He was also he worked a lot on other tournaments we did. So indeed, yeah, it was a bit emotional for that also, yes.
All right, then. So a lot of stuff happening, a lot of moving parts. We have the women's slalom skiers. Where we had 10 of those, and we had close to 25 skiers in the men's event. The event not without its little gremlins, because I don't know, for all of you eagle-eyed people out there that were watching, probably noticed that for a while that there was no drone shots, and there was a good reason for that.
Yeah, you said it, Tony. I mean, that's more on the TWBC end. The drone just on itself pretty much crashed.
In Vincent's words, it just fell out the sky.
Yeah, fell out the sky in the lake. So we lost the drone. That was solved, by the team behind the scene. 2 hours later, a new drone was up. Somebody went and picked up a spare one, got it going, got it calibrated, got it going, and then we had the beautiful images from the drone again in the afternoon. So there was, it's what happens at every tournament, I think.
And anyone who's experienced a warranty claim with DJI, get in contact with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Indeed.
All right then. So let's go on to the actual events as it transpired. We had the tried and tested proven format where we have 2 rounds. first round women, first round men, second round women, second round men. So among our women's competitors, who kind of stood out for you that didn't make it into like the top 5 or anything like that?
I mean, I may be a bit biased, but definitely for me, Alice Bagnoli skied great. I mean, she skis with us, all the time. She skied actually her best day today since a month. She didn't make it in the final. I think she was just first out, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And she performed very consistently, 5 and 4 at 11.25. Which for her is a good score, not a best score, but so yeah, I think she's the one that stood out for me aside of the top 5 finalists. Yes,
and obviously, Samantha Stadlbaur, of course.
Yeah. Obviously, she skied the first time at Stadlbaur. It didn't go the way she wanted it today. I think she's been skiing actually very, very good the last month, better and better. And I think she was a bit disappointed, maybe doing too much, or she couldn't find the right balance of intensity, I think, on her 2 sets today, either too little, too much. So, okay, she learned from today. She's going to be stronger for the rest of the season, I'm sure.
Yes, now that she doesn't have to worry about attending like daily classes at FIU anymore.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, she had a bit of a break. She deserves it largely.
Absolutely. Ali Garcia slalomed pretty well, getting a 4 at 11.25 in round number 1 and 5 and 11.25 in the second round. She was the first one out, so to speak, in terms of making it through to the final, because even though Ali Nicholson and Regina Jaquist were kind of on the outside looking in after round 1, they performed a redemption task between the two of them to make it through to the final.
Yeah, Ali's always a strong skier. I know she wants to run 11. In this case, it didn't go as planned. And then, as you say, Regina had a tough first round. She geared up on the second round and showed what she could do. And then we went on to the finalists, which, all skied great. To make the cut at Swiss Pro Slalom is never easy. The level is very, very high, whether it's in the women or in the men's field.
Yes, and I kind of suspect that between Alicia Bagnoli and Ali Garcia, during the course of last season, we were always wondering who would be the next skier to go through 10.75 meters, a 39.5 off. Ali Nicholson answered that question last season. Yeah. So now we're searching for the next one. And who do you think would get there first between Ali and Alice?
It's hard to say, Tony. Whomever has a lucky, not a lucky break, but a good set in a tournament will run it. They're both most capable of doing it. They have both done it. So it's just a matter of, getting the right set at the right time. And we're still early in the season. All this is going to flow out easily in a few weeks to come.
Yes, indeed. And we've got Masters qualifiers coming on next weekend and the weekend after, and then the Masters themselves before we continue on with the World Ski Pro Tour at Lake 38. But in the meantime, let's have a look at the top 5. Paige Reaney, she was outstanding in this competition.
Extremely outstanding. She's a strong competitor, very, very good skier in 3 events, actually. I love the way she slaloms, very technical. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard during the day that it was she said in an interview her first final at Swiss Pro Slalom.
Yeah.
Which I thought she had done already a final. So I'm very happy for her because, as I said, it's quite a feat to make the cut at this event. It's a short cut, 5 skiers only in the women. So kudos to her. I'm very happy for her because it's a slalom skier I really like.
Indeed, and look forward to seeing more of Paige Reaney. I'm sure that she'll be a part of the MLCQs coming up with the next 2 weekends, with the hope of making it to Callaway. Regina Jaquist. Now, this result kind of. Anyone that's followed the Swiss Pro Slalom will look at this and thinking, what the heck just happened? But there was a very good reason for this, and it occurred in the final where she came across the number 2 at 10.75 meters and didn't really gain full contact of the handle and almost suffered pretty much a season-ending injury had she not been alert and on her feet to avoid any kind of damage.
Oh, you said it, Tony. She kind of misgrabbed the handle, or actually overgrabbed it on her forearm, and did good actually to make it to 3. That obviously threw her off. And it's skiing. When you're in finals or whatever, you're a bit nervous. Everything's a little different. Things, tend to happen in tournaments that usually never happens in practice. It's the way it is. I mean, at 10.75, there's not much margin. And luckily, it happened to Regina. It was kind of over because of that. What can I tell you? It's tournament water skiing.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely anything happens. And Regina Jake was unable to defend the title, which she's had a grip on for the last 9 seasons, because there were 3 other competitors that finished above her, and in third place, Ali Nicholson didn't exactly have the best of starts, fell short of the halfway mark at 11.25 meters, but then she came right around in round number 2 with 1.5, and eventually ended up in third place with 3 on that same line length, improving with each round.
Well, yeah, it's Ali Nicholson. She's a very competitive girl. She came to do a few sets with me prior to the tournament, and to be honest, her best score was in the final. So in practice, she did like 1.5, or 2 at 10.7. So did she in the first 2 rounds. In finals, she put up the big game and did actually her best score lately, placing her in the top girls. Yeah, so smart skiing.
Yes, indeed. And 2 others finished above her. Whitney McClintock-Reaney, still that wily. It's hard to say. She's becoming a veteran in these types of situations in the pro ranks. She always seems to be able to dig down deep and come away with the score that she needs in order to advance through into a finals or that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, she did that in round number 1 and didn't have to ski in round number 2, which saved her energy long enough for her to reach a 5-buoy count of 10.75 meters.
Great skiing from Whitney. She's super strong, super fit. I told her, actually, she won the strongest pool, so that proves me right. She skied excellent. She's always a very smart skier. She's, as you say, veteran, but in terms of mind, I mean, she knows what's going on at her tournament. She knows how to win. She knows how to ski. She's been world champion. So, okay, today she didn't win, but she's always a wrecking force on the starting dock.
And the one person that could deny her the win eventually did. Jamie Ball, the 2-time world slalom champion, made it through to the finals. Out of round number 1 with 3 at 10.75, then 1 at 10.25, which enabled her to share the top score points on the Water Ski Pro Tour by equaling the best score of Regina Jake was on 1 at 10.25 meters, and replicated that score in round number 3 as well, but a deserving winner and the first time winner here at the Swiss Pro Slalom.
Yeah, so after 10 years that finally changed. Jamie Bull won. Excellent for her, great skiing. She really deserved it, because if you saw her 10.7, I mean, that was committed skiing, 0 hesitation. She cranked number 3, offside turn. She was not that great in mid course. She really didn't hesitate a lot, committed completely on number 3 ball, which, gave her space to have an opportunity to finish the pass. Then did it again on her number 5 at 10.75. She could have eased up at 5, risk a tie with Whitney, do a runoff. But no, she went full on her offside turn at buoy number 5. So definitely no safety check. She ran it, won. I mean, she fully deserves it. That's great skiing. That's committed skiing.
Certainly a great competitive effort there, and her win, her maiden win in the Swiss Pro Slalom, definitely deserving of the Skier of the Day award presented by 2U Nutritional Bars.
Yes, exactly. I mean, she really went for it, totally.
Absolutely. So that brought the close to the women's slalom event, and now the men's competition, an expanded field all the way up to 24 skiers. Now, I'm going to ask you pretty much to comment on maybe 1 or 2 skiers that finished outside of the top 8 because we pay down to 8th and actually taking 8th through to the finals. I beg your pardon. But what was some of the surprises in your mind? And bear in mind that the slew of skiers that we've had from 9th place all the way down to 24th place. I mean, there are no slouches there on the slalom course, but for some of them, they just didn't quite have the luck of the draw and good performance to go into this weekend.
Yeah, Tony, yes and no. First of all, we had 24 men. They're the best in the world. I mean, it's so hard to ski at that level. We're talking about 10.75, 10.25. To me, all the 24 skied great. Conditions were perfect. They all skied excellent. They're all amazing skiers. If one stands out, like just comes on top of my head, is Jaime Palomino Blanc. First round, the young kid, he hasn't been skiing that great the last week. Kills 10.75. The way he knows how to ski. Aggressive. I like it. Young skier goes in, doesn't think too much, and just does it. That's one amongst all the other. I mean, everybody skied great for me, but if one sticks out, maybe just now it's him outside the finalists.
Now, the person for me that kind of stands out, another young skier, Lucas Cornell of Australia, who I talked to you privately before the event, and I was going to say, don't neglect Lucas Cornell. I mean, look for this kid. I mean, he could be doing some great stuff on the Swiss Pro Slalom, and he almost did.
Yeah, you're totally right. I thought actually that he had made the final. Sorry, Tony. So no, Lucas Cornell, obviously, same thing as Palomino, aggressive skier, a mix of old school and new school. The guy's strong. The guy's really to watch. I'm sure he's going to do many more Swiss Pro Slaloms, and we're going to see more of him. That's for sure.
And some skiers also to look out for some of the other competitions of the season. Kamil Bamra, who made his debut here in the Swiss Pro Slalom for the first time.
Yeah, definitely. He's been skiing the Swiss Pro Slalom a few years. Every year, better. He's growing as a slalom skier, has more experience. So it's slowly building up. He's got excellent talent. He's excellent in his turns, whether offside or onside turns. Good feeling on the ski, so we'll see more of him also. Yeah, all this new generation actually, which ski Swiss Pro Slalom with wild cards, they all deserve highest recognition.
Certainly. So let's get into the top 8, finishing eventually in 8th spot. Now, bear in mind that just to get even within a sniff of making it through to the top 8, you had to get at least halfway down 10.25 meters. That's almost unheard of.
No, but I mean, Tony, the water skiing is very harsh. It's crazy. I see Freddie Winter, 2 times world champion, current world champion. He does half at 10.25 on the first round, puts him 15th, on the result list of the first round. I mean, you see how high the competition was today. That's why I'm saying they all skied great. It's at this level. It's really by a hair. Right? I mean, the competition is to the millimeter.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, right after the second round of slalom, Freddie Winter came up and said and basically told me that none of the people that finished on the podium in the World Championships last season, him included, made it into the final of the Swiss Pro Slalom, and basically captioned that statement to say that it's easier to podium at the World Championships than it is at the Swiss Pro Slalom.
Maybe, yeah. It's a high level tournament, that's for sure. Yeah.
Indeed. So let's start off with Corey Vaughan, who's no stranger to skiing here at the Swiss Pro Slalom and this part of the world, and getting 3 at 10.25 meters to keep his challenge alive, but ending up with a score of also 3 at with 3 at 10.75 meters in the finals, having scored a 2 at 10.25 meters as a backup score.
Well, Corey is acquainted with Swiss. He skis pretty much all our tournaments. He comes and practice here. Remember, he's from Virginia. He went to Mumbai. He just had to practice in cold weather. So a bit of inconsistency you could see through the results. Very good first round, not so good in the finals. We're early May for Corey that's skiing, and it's still in cold water and everything. It's perfectly understandable.
And maybe
he's a driving force. He's also a veteran. He knows what to do. So I think for him, great start of the season. Although he didn't perform as well as he wanted in the final, but he did make the cut. So which is already a feat in itself.
Yes, indeed, and was wondering whether his ski would actually be up to the task, because he suspected that he may have damaged his ski to the point where it would be unusable. But flex tested the ski prior to him going out, figured that it was good enough to ski on, and indeed it was. He went through to the final and eventually ended up in 8th spot. Now, Cole McCormick from Canada, doing likewise 3 at 10.25 meters. Did that in round 2. Didn't quite have the same kind of luck in round number 3. But encouraging signs going forward. Technically, he's looking about as sharp as he typically does.
Yes, he's getting fitter and fitter. He knows how to ski. He's got great coach. Both his parents are world champion. He knows what he's doing. He skied very good the first round. Maybe wanting a bit too much in the final. Got maybe I don't know. When you're in the final, it can work for you or against you. Maybe this time he didn't have his head where he wanted to and didn't succeed the way it was planned, I think.
All right, then. So moving on from Cole McCormick, we go on to one of the skiers that I'll be looking out for during the course of the season to see how his progression continues. Jamie Calhoun from Canada.
Yeah, Jamie Calhoun, I know him since he's a kid. He's been skiing a lot at Swiss too. He does a lot of our tournaments. He's a great skier. I think from the finalists, I really admire him. I mean, he's he has a regular job. The guy ran 3 times 10.75 today, which not many skiers in the world can do. So amazing. He skied in the finals. He got a good one. He's a left foot forward. Came to 2. Didn't hesitate. Just committed. Tried to make it to 3 or 4, which is a good score. It didn't work as planned. He couldn't execute it, but that's the way to ski. So congrats, Jamie, really.
Yes, indeed. Certainly look out for him. Now, another skier that we would all naturally look out for to see if he can perform a redemption job for the next tournament, in time for the next tournament, is surprisingly in 5th spot, Nate Smith.
Yeah, Nate, I mean, obviously everybody knows Nate. He's the most talented skier out there. He's doing his, not flying school anymore, but flying training, so he hasn't skied much or not at all. So, a little less skiing. Obviously, you're not as sharp, especially when you go into a finals at Swiss Pro where everybody at 10.25 counts. I think he did a great tournament. He was, for his condition, good to be in the final. He didn't succeed as he's used to. But okay, I mean, very fair result at the end of the day.
Certainly, and look out for him as he continues to go along the season. We look out for him on the World Ski Pro Tour and see plenty more points added to his total. Charlie Ross. Now, I think slowly but surely this skier is definitely coming of age, because, I mean, it was a few years ago where he ran 10.75 meters for the very first time and set in a world under 17 world record. Now, he's had at least a couple of lean seasons where he's probably made it into some final rounds of competitions, but just not quite sealing the deal for one reason or another. Maybe the pressure or the expectation, heaped upon his shoulders, he's succumbing to, but I honestly think he's crossed that hurdle now and will look to try and reassert himself and keep his head and shoulders high above the pro skiers that surround him on a daily basis.
Well, Charlie Ross surely knows how to ski. His technique is excellent. He's got a very good stance on the ski. He knows what he's doing. As you say, he's grown up, and to me, you start becoming a slalom skier at the age of 30. He's 18, and as you say, he starts already to understand. So he's going to be a slalom skier at 20. So he's learning very quick. He made the finals. He's way more consistent. He skied great in the finals. So he's definitely getting there, and he's a threat to everybody.
Absolutely, and that was Charlie Ross. Now, top 3, and I'm particularly gratified with this one because all of them are from Great Britain for the very first time in the Swiss Pro Slalom. So let's start off with the world overall record holder and former world overall champion, and getting closer and closer to the point where we could actually see him be a pro event winner in the slalom event. The only thing he's missing, really, and Joel Poland coming through in 3rd spot with his score of 3 at 10.25 meters in the final, replicating the score that he produced in round 1.
Well, Joel is incredible. He's probably the most talented skier out there. As you say, he hasn't won a slalom event yet, but it's going to come. He skied great. He had a really good shot of almost making 4 at 10.25 in the final, which would have been a hard score to beat. He was very close to that. I love, as you say, the full British podium with the relationship, Will Robb being cousin. I mean, it was an amazing final. I think Joel's very, very happy about how he skied, and he certainly deserved it.
Yeah, certainly, and he did a fine job at the Swiss Pro Tricks a couple of weeks prior, so... He's off to a good start this season, and I'm sure that he'll probably only need to enter one MLCQ competition to qualify for the Masters. I definitely think he's got that within him to do that.
Yeah, for sure, Tony.
All right, then. Runner-up, also from Great Britain, Robert Hazelwood. Now, this time last year, Rob Hazelwood made it through to the final by basically throwing himself at buoy number 4, doing that front somersault that we all love to play here on the TWBC on occasion. You know, it's even included in the opening reel prior to each event taking place if you're of sharp enough eye to pick that one out. But Robert Hazelwood, consistent from start to finish, you know, and I think he kind of like migrates away from needing to trick or to jump or to put any kind of overall score together, his slalom skiing is only going to get better and better and more consistent.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know Rob Hazelwood is a great overall skier, but I think he prefers slalom. He loves this tournament. He loves the site. He's always been skiing good, at Swiss. I mean, the guy just commits. You know, what I preferred of the whole day from Rob was actually second round. He had to run 10.75, and you guys saw how he run 10.75. Very easy, very committed, didn't hesitate. The final exactly the same kind of skiing. Strong skiing. You know, we always say there's the British style, which is in slalom has been proven. Then you have a step up. It's the Hazelwood style from Mike Hazelwood to Rob Hazelwood to Will Asher, which is the Hazelwood family. These guys are very, very hard to beat. I mean, really, really strong skiing.
Yes, able to get through the toughest of conditions and match that up with some of the finest spots out there in the world and producing some good scores.
Totally.
Yeah, Robert Hazelwood. But the eventual winner, it's definitely one for you older folks out there that love to cheer on one of the greatest slalom skiers ever to put on a ski, Will Asher, who made it through to the final, not needing to ski round number 2. He just went in for a couple of passes, went in 12 meters 11 just to suss out the conditions, but he qualified with 4 at 10.25 in round 1, and then backed it up by winning with 3.5 on that same line length.
What can be said about Will Asher? He's definitely, probably the best technical skier today. I mean, you watch him ski, you want to put your ski on and go on the lake. I mean, the guy definitely knows how to water ski. He knows how to win. He's won Swiss Pro Slalom already. He had strong competition today. I think in the finals. The whole tournament actually, he mastered the day. Like he won already first round, so he was in the lead from the beginning. And I think when he left the dock in the finals, 3 at 10.25 for Will on any day is totally doable. So he skied confident. He skied like he knows how to do it. And he's still going very, very strong. And I think, you become a slalom skier when you're 30. When you're 40, you're even stronger. So it didn't surprise me at all. And I'm very, very happy for Will because he's always a very evolving slalom skier.
Certainly, and this. I mean, I don't know if it was so much in jest, but he's getting a little bit into that foil boarding, and just trying to find new and inventive ways to occupy his time away from slalom skiing, and doing a fine job. And obviously, whatever he does, whatever he comes up with, he seems to be able to reinvent himself and do something a little bit different. And variety, as they say, is the spice of life. I don't know how that translates into French. You can probably tell me how that translates to French, but yes, Will Asher seems to have found that proverbial fountain of youth, so to speak.
Yeah, totally. And you know as well as me that Will Asher used to be an overall skier. He's a great tricker, a great jumper. That guy can do everything. He's a very talented athlete, actually.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, then we're going to start putting a bow to this edition of the TWBC podcast. It's certainly been a great event. You know, the TWBC is going to be going to a whole bunch of events this coming summer. We'll be in places such as Italy and Greece and Morocco, the United Kingdom, back over to Canada and to the western portion of the United States. Now, out of all of those events that you're looking forward to watching, what are one or two of the events that are definitely be featuring prominently for you?
Well, they're all going to be nice. The competition is going to be great. All I can tell you, Tony, is that I'm flying to Morocco. I want to see that tournament on the African continent. I think that's going to be the biggest party and the nicest tournament this year.
Yes, you dancing in the souk and the market there in downtown Marrakesh.
It's going to be something new for water skiing. It's going to be great, so I hope everybody joins in.
All right, then. So that has been the latest edition of the TWBC podcast. Once again, thank you very much, Clint Stadlbaur. Now, is there anyone you'd want to thank or acknowledge before signing off?
Yeah, well, I want to thank everybody that helped for this tournament, the whole family. I want to thank TWBC. You guys are doing a great job, and let's push it on. See you next year.
All right, then, and that has been the latest edition of the TWBC podcast. Be sure to communicate with me on podcast@waterskibroadcasting.com to find out more. And if you want to offer support for the podcast, that's the way to communicate with me. But my name's Tony Lightfoot. You've also been listening to Clint Stadlbaur. And until next time, it is ciao for now.
Thank you for listening to the TWBC podcast. Be sure to check out our website at waterskibroadcasting.com. Links to our presence on major social media platforms can be found there, as well as updates to our webcast and this podcast. Duplication or rebroadcasting of this broadcast without written consent of TWBC is prohibited. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform and be sure to join us next time for the next edition of the TWBC podcast.